This is 99.5 Global FM.
And the operators.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Good afternoon. And welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. And as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in on this first Wellness Wednesday of 2023. For those of you who are new around these parts, every Wednesday, we focus on an issue that is relative to your health and well-being. And I chose this particular topic today on our first Wellness Wednesday because I know over the past couple of weeks, us Bahamians especially, been eating all kind of things that we know we ain't business eating. You know, during the holidays, all caution is thrown to the wind and all diets are put away in the bag, and then you place and you say, I can pick them back up in January, and we just go to town, eating the things we know we have no business eating. Those of us who trying to do better, and then who ain't trying to do better, say where you put me. Because we know what the typical Christmas dinner looks like for the Bahamian family. And then after that, you got all the leftovers you got to get rid of. So you talking your ham and your turkey and your potato salad and stuffing and coleslaw and peas and rice and fried plantain and candied yams and what else? All that on one plate. And, I know how it is over the holidays. Those who can, go all out. And those who can't, find somebody else who going all out and make sure they get one or two plates to carry home with them. Because, we love to tote. So I thought that our first Wellness Wednesday show of the year would be about doing something that will sort of give you a restart to help rid the body of all the wrong that you have done over the past couple of weeks. And I know you do wrong. I ask nobody nothing. I know you do wrong. But we like to talk about the new year being a new beginning of a new book or a new chapter in your life and starting afresh and restart and all that kind of stuff. Well, why don't we do the same thing with our health? And so I thought that it was important to do this show today based on that. We are going to be talking today about something that is foreign to most, but for those who practice it, whether for health reasons or for religious reasons or for both, it is extremely beneficial to both your physical body and your spiritual being within that physical body. But today we're going to focus on the physical aspect because I found so much information just on the benefits, just on the physical benefits. I'm not even going to touch the spiritual benefits today. That's a show within itself. We are talking about the powerful, miraculous benefits of fasting. Fasting, abstinence from food, whether it be for a short period, which is called intermittent fasting, whether it be for a medium period, or whether it be for a long-term period, the benefits of fasting on your physical being, and they are many. So you're going to learn a lot today about what fasting does to the body, how to fast safely, and when you know it's time to break a fast. Now, fasting goes all the way back to biblical days, probably before. It was a principle within the Bible about fasting and praying. Jesus himself fasted and encouraged his disciples to do the same. And clearly, there were opportunities when he demonstrated the spiritual power and benefit of fasting. You'll recall the story when the disciples couldn't cast a demon out, and Jesus said, how much longer I can put up with you? I'll bring the person here. And boom, that person was gone. The spirit was gone, the evil spirit. And the disciples asked him, well, how come we couldn't do that? And he said, some only come out with prayer and fasting. So there's definitely a spiritual component here. But like I said, today we focus on the physical benefits of fasting for your body. Okay? The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. And the WhatsApp line is 8010271, 8010271. So, you may say, well, how long can a person go without food? Well, if we use the example set by Jesus Christ, he went for 40 days before he was tempted in the wilderness, if you recall that story. So there are some who say that you can go beyond 40 days, but he set out the example of a 40-day fast. So we know it's possible to go as long as 40 days with no physical food. We know that. Some people believe you get, very good benefits from intermittent fast. In other words, you fast for certain hours of the day. Some believe that you should fast for at least 24 to 72 hours. You get some good benefits of 3 days of fasting. Others believe in going longer. The longest I have ever gone, when I used to attend BFM, at the beginning of every year, the church would go on a 21-day fast. And the longest that I have ever fasted as a part of that experience was 14 days with no physical food, only liquids. And the reason I broke that after 14 days was not because I was hungry, because to tell you the truth, for a new beginner in fasting, the more you do it, the easier it gets. But for the beginner, if you could just get past the third day, if you're doing it correctly now, because there is a way to fast the wrong way and you could actually hurt yourself. But if you're doing it the right way, after the first 3 days, for the first 3 days, your body's going to fight you. Your body is going to fight you with all it has to feed it. It's going to demand that you feed it. But if you take authority over that and you last 3 days, by the fourth day, your body says, I give in to whatever you got going on, because it realized this chick's serious. So we might as well get used to not having food for a little while. And the hunger situation goes away. It's amazing. And at least for me, the more I did it, each time I did fast, it would become easier and easier and easier. And I think a lot of it has to do with your mindset, because I would find that when I'm not fasting, if I'm not immersed in some kind of project that has my attention so deeply that I don't even remember to eat, because I would do that sometimes. But if this is like an everyday thing for me and I'm not fasting, by a certain time of the day, I am famished. I'm like, oh my God, I got to find something to eat. But when I decide, and the key word here is decide, that I'm going on a fast, I say, okay, I'm going on a fast, 3-day fast or whatever. My body, I don't go through that anymore. It is so much easier for me. The more I do it, the easier it gets. So if you've never fasted before, I promise you, you won't drop down dead from turning down your plate. Your body will try to make you feel like you can drop down dead if you don't eat, but I promise you, you won't. You will not die for missing a couple of meals. Okay? But it has a lot to do with discipline. That is the very first thing that you need to master. You need to determine that you are in charge of your appetite and not your appetite in charge of you. You need to set that stage at the very beginning before you turn down any meal. You have to make a determination that you are going to discipline yourself to meet the criteria or the mark or the goal, whatever goal that is that you have set as it relates to this fasting experience. So as a beginner, you may say, okay, I'm going to try the intermittent fasting. I'm going to fast for 18 hours and then, break that fast with a light meal. Okay, so you may want to start there and then eventually build up, where you can go longer. You might say, okay, I think I can do this for 24 hours. I think I can do this for 48 hours. I think I can do it for 72 hours. Whatever you decide. And the key word, once again, is decision. It's a mindset thing. You have to apply discipline to ensure that you do not fall off the bandwagon before the benefits kick in. So the first clip, and all of the clips today are coming from Dr. Berg, who is one of my favorites. The first clip we're going to play today is him talking about discipline and intermittent fasting. So here now is Dr. Berg.
Hello, Dr. Berg here. In this video, we're going to talk about intermittent fasting and discipline. So the first thing I want to say is, for those of you that are already doing this, I'm going to say you are amazing, because it's not easy to go 18 hours or 20 hours without eating. It takes a tremendous amount of discipline. So well done on that. For those of you that are not doing that, I want to try to talk you into it, because there's some really cool benefits. My message has always been, you have the power over food, your body, your health. Okay, but what do most people do? It's the opposite. It's the food is controlling them. I was in the airport last night. I was watching people in line at the Cinnabon little place they had there. There wasn't a lot of people in line that looked healthy. There wasn't any slim people. There was a lot of overweight people in that line. And basically, the food manufacturing companies are really smart in that they prey on people's emotions, the sensation of that food. It's all short term. They don't think tomorrow. They're thinking right now and just going there eating that Cinnabon. So people live for the sensation of food. Their whole life is wrapped around this sensation. Okay? It comes with a package. Okay? I'm not talking about the sensation of health foods. I'm talking about the sensation of junk foods. The food manufacturing companies have inserted many chemicals in those foods that keep you highly addictive. So what's happening is they're being controlled by this blood sugar trap. They spike the sugar, it goes down. Now they're hungry, they go eat it. Goes up, they get tired, goes down, they eat it. And it's literally a trap. So in intermittent fasting, it's an exercise in self-discipline. Now, when we get to intermittent fasting, most people are doing it with fairly healthy foods. So I'm not talking about doing the Cinnabon with intermittent fasting. But intermittent fasting is an exercise in self-discipline. If you think about it, it has so many benefits physically, like increasing growth hormone by 2,000%, regrowing nerve cells so your cognitive function is amazing, high levels of ketosis where your body is so level, you're out of the blood sugar issues now. Now you have this incredible energy that's very sustaining, improving your memory, improving inflammation, improving your cardiovascular function. I mean, it's amazing. But beyond the health, there's also increasing your personal power, your personal willpower, because you're actually putting discipline where you're not eating for a period of time, despite all this temptation. It really improves your personal willpower, which is actually almost equivalent to the body improvements. So I want you to look beyond the short-term pleasure of food and look at the long-term benefits on a physical and emotional level of intermittent fasting, because I think you'll love it. There is some uncomfortableness in the first 2 weeks because you're adapting to it, but you can do it on such a nice gradual increase that it's not that hard. But you have to just be really conscious of what you're doing and not randomly just kind of eat what you want, okay? So you start with 3 meals a day. Do that for a period of time without snacks. Then graduate to, eating later and later and later, the breakfast, until the point where you're having no breakfast at all. You're just doing a lunch and a dinner, 2 meals.
Okay. Now, you have to plan if you're going to try fasting. Okay? What do I mean by that? You have to make sure that you have sufficient water, good, clean water, because as you're gonna learn in this show, you definitely have to keep your body hydrated, because there's a tendency to become dehydrated when you're fasting, and you'll understand as we go through these clips why that happens to your body. But you have to make sure that you have adequate supply of good water, good clean water. If you decide to incorporate juices in your fast, you have to make sure that you get the right kind of juice, because not all juices are good when you're talking about fasting. So there are 2 juices that I would recommend. Not juice cocktail, not juice drink, because they're nothing more than sugar and water. I'm talking about the natural juice from a fruit, okay? You want to do cranberry juice, not cranberry juice cocktail, but the real cranberry juice. It's very, very good, because cranberry tends to be very good at cleansing the blood. So it is an added benefit if you can find some pure cranberry juice during your fasting. Another good one, and not from concentrate either. It can't. You don't want to do anything from concentrate, because that is nothing more than sugar and water. Okay. So the cranberry juice is good because it will definitely help to cleanse your blood. Another really good juice to use if you want to, give yourself a little flavor while you're fasting, is apple juice, but not the processed clear apple juice. I'm talking the unprocessed apple juice, the pure apple juice, the kind of cloudy one that hasn't been boiled and all that kind of stuff. You want the natural apple juice. It's very, very good for you. You want to have some apple cider vinegar on hand. Apple cider vinegar, just a little bit of that in your tea, or you can actually make a tea with it. Excellent when you're fasting. Not white vinegar, not apple cider vinegar, specifically that type, is very, very good to help when you're fasting. You're looking for herbal tea. Herbal tea, not the regular tea, because the regular tea is going to have a lot of caffeine. And I know 1 or 2 of these clips he mentions that you could drink a little bit of coffee. I don't know. I've never done that on a fast. It's either water, herbal tea, sweetened without sugar, but some other natural sweetener, like maybe raw honey, and not overdoing it with the raw honey either. So it's like a syrup. No, you don't want that. You just want a slightly, maybe a teaspoon of the raw honey if you have to have the tea sweetened. Or stevia leaf, something like that. So you want to make sure that you are prepared. You want to have those things on hand, because one of the most difficult things to do if you're fasting is if you run out of stuff while you're not eating and you got to go in the food store to go look for that stuff, you're going to pick up something and end up eating something because you're going to be surrounded by all this food. So prepare ahead of time before you even start your fast. Make sure you go out, make sure you have sufficient good water, make sure you have your herbal teas, whatever flavors you want, as long as it's herbal tea. Make sure you got your natural sweetener, make sure you got your juices, make sure you have everything lined off that you are going to take during this fast. So you're not tempted to have to go somewhere where you're going to be surrounded by things that are going to help you to fail. Okay? And one of the things that Dr. Berg recommends is that, and you're going to hear him describe why in one of the clips that we're going to play, you have to have some really good liquid supplements as well. And so you want all of that in place before you start your fast, so that you don't have to go looking for anything. And make sure you tell your loved ones and your family, I am going on a fast. So please do not be offering me any food. And make sure you say it and they understand that you're serious about it. And I can tell you right now, especially if you're fasting for spiritual reasons, you're going to have all kind of people calling you at the woodwork all of a sudden will buy you lunch. I'll take you out to dinner. Yeah. Tell them, I can't right now. You ain't got to tell everybody you're fasting. Because, you're supposed to do this as a private thing, especially if it's a spiritual thing. But make sure that you are prepared and have everything in place that you need to be successful at this. Okay? So, let's take a break. On the other side of the break, let's see. No, you know what? Let me do this first clip first. Here's Dr. Berg describing what happens to your body when you fast for the first 24 hours. So here now is Dr. Berg, who's going to break this down for you step by step as to what processes happen in your body when you deny it food for 24 hours.
So there's a lot of really magical things that happen when you fast. Our bodies have developed over a long period of time and have adapted to starvation many, many times. So we have all these unique proteins that get expressed or turned on that have to do with your brain doing better, the different parts of your body surviving better. Our bodies have not adapted to the frequency of eating like we do now, like every 3 hours. So right around 12 hours, we get this spike in growth hormone. Growth hormone is the anti-aging hormone. It's the main fat-burning hormone. It's the hormone involved with healing joints, and it's involved with protein synthesis or making different new proteins. Some people take growth hormone, get injected. I don't recommend it, but they take it to help heal certain parts of your body. But guess what? Fasting will trigger it automatically. So just by the fact that you're fasting, you can increase growth hormone. And of course, exercise will also increase growth hormone as well. So it starts about 12 hours and it increases as you go on and on. Now, at about 18 hours, you start developing something called autophagy. Autophagy is an interesting thing that happens with your body where you start recycling old, damaged proteins and microbes as well. One type of protein would be the advanced glycated end products, which basically when you combined glucose with a protein, it becomes very sticky. So let's say you're on a high carbohydrate diet and that sugar combines with your own protein in your body, and that starts to glycate or just kind of destroy some of the proteins in your body, and then they don't function anymore and they get sticky and they clog things up. Well, guess what? Your body will start cleaning all that up and turning these damaged proteins into new amino acids where your body can use them. Amyloid plaquing, which occurs in the brain and other parts of the body, is a type of protein that can be cleaned up with autophagy. So it's any type of cellular proteins that are not working anymore in your body. Autophagy will start cleaning that up and start to renew the tissue. And it starts right about 18 hours, and it gets more and more and more as you start fasting. And in about 24 hours and a little bit longer, you start to really deplete this glycogen reserve, this storage supply of glucose in your liver. So the more that the liver is depleted with glycogen, the more you're going to be running on ketones as the alternative fuel. And if you have a fatty liver, for example, your body will start using that fat and turning that into ketones. So your body is finally able to start tapping into this stored energy, and you're running more and more on ketones, which is a superior fuel. And because you're running on ketones, ketones are an appetite suppressant. So your hunger goes away, cravings are gone. They're antioxidants, so you're building up your antioxidant reserve. They provide more oxygen, so your body is running on more oxygen, less CO2. It's more efficient. And because ketones are a much more efficient fuel than glucose, the thyroid does not have to work as hard. And you may find that your T3 is a little bit lower, but the thyroid stimulating hormone is normal. And all that means is your thyroid is adapting to this new type of fuel. Now, some other cool things that are happening right around 24 hours is that your inflammation is dropping significantly. If you wanted to even speed it up more, you can add some vitamin D to that, and that will really help you. So any type of conditions that involve inflammatory states like arthritis, bursitis, autoimmune type conditions start to improve about 24 hours. You start getting more gut healing because the gut now doesn't have to work so frequently with the gallbladder being stimulated and the pancreas stimulating its enzymes. The gut finally has a chance to just chill out. So if you have this condition called SIBO, which there are microbes in the small intestine, and they should normally be in the large intestine, that starts to become corrected. You start increasing stem cell in the gut, so your gut starts to heal. The heart loves ketones way better than glucose, so you start getting improvement in the cardiovascular function and as well as in brain function. There's something called BDNF. This is a factor that helps make new brain cells. So your brain starts to repair at 24 hours.
Now, that alone, if we played nothing else during the show, that information alone should encourage you to give fasting a try, because as you would have heard, it has tremendous benefits for the body. And that's just 24 hours. So imagine if you go longer than 24 hours. Well, you won't have to imagine much longer, because on the other side of the break, Dr. Berg is going to tell you what happens when you're fasting for more than 24 hours and you hit that 72-hour mark, how much of a miracle happens within your body as a result. Stay with us. This is Wellness Wednesday on GPS, and you're listening to Global 99.5 FM.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rim fix and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here. On this Wellness Wednesday, we are talking about fasting, the miraculous benefits of fasting on the body. The telephone numbers to call 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages only 801-0271, 801-0271. So, fasting. Why should you consider turning down the plate for a period of time? Well, you have often heard me say on this show that disease is really just a degeneration of the body. You've heard me say that multiple times, yeah? And what fasting does is it helps to get the body to regenerate itself. It helps to restart your system. And it has tremendous healing benefits, amazing benefits of regeneration and healing on the body. It sort of gives the body a break from food because food, digestion of food, processing of food is a lot of work for the body. And what fasting does is it gives your body a rest so that your body can get to the business of healing. You ever notice that after you eat a very heavy meal, typically the way we eat in the Bahamas, where you got a bunch of animal protein and starches on the same plate, and, you know, after we eat that big, heavy Christmas dinner, you ever notice that you get sleepy? And all of a sudden you can't do anything to keep your eyes open? There's a reason for that. It's because your body is working so hard trying to digest all of that food that all of your energy is redirected to trying to digest that food. So it puts you to sleep because that's how much work it's doing trying to digest all that stuff you just put in there. And so what happens when you go on a fast is you give your body a break from using up all that energy trying to digest food, and it can now use that energy to try to heal itself. This is why fasting from a physical perspective is so very important. You got to give your body a break. You got to give your body a break. So we would have learned in the first segment of the show the benefits of intermittent fasting and fasting up to 24 hours. But if you make a decision, and again, it's all about the mindset, that you want to go even longer than 24 hours, you are going to be blown away to learn about how much more of a benefit that is to your body. And here once again is Dr. Berg to tell us what happens when you fast up to 72 hours.
As you keep going on, you would think you're going to be losing muscle protein, but that's not really what happens because your body becomes more efficient. And there are certain genes that are sparing proteins, so it's not using muscle protein. So the efficiency of fuel is much better. Plus with autophagy, you're using the old damaged proteins and giving you new proteins. So the combination is really good. So the amount of nutrition that you really need to run the body is a lot less, because the body just dials down and it can run on a less amount of nutrients. So that's a positive thing. Now, the other thing that happens during autophagy is that you're also cleaning out microbes and fungus and mold and yeast. And to kill off those microbes, your body develops certain oxidants, and you also have antioxidants on the flip side. So your body actually makes things like hydrogen peroxide to kill off microbes, but it also, on the flip side, makes its own antioxidants to actually protect the body against the oxidation. So we have this entire balance. It's only when we have lower amounts of antioxidants and higher amount of oxidants that we get this thing called oxidative stress, which things start breaking down. But when you're doing fasting, you're getting a nice balance of more antioxidants and your body's starting to heal. Now, when you get to 48 hours, you really start to stimulate the stem cells. These are undifferentiated cells. In other words, they're cells that don't have a purpose. So they can turn into this tissue or that tissue depending on what the body needs. So you start to stimulate the stem cell and get more healing and more repair, more anti-aging. You also get decreased risks of certain types of cancer. You get shrinkage of certain tumors. You start making more mitochondria. Now, if you push it and go up to 72 hours, you get even more stimulation of stem cells, okay, and better immune function. But when you actually get into 72 hours or greater, I recommend you do that as a periodic thing, simply because a lot of people going into this have nutritional deficiencies in there. If you jump in too fast, you can get a little bit dizzy, you can have some side effects, so you want to gradually do this over a period of time. But those are some general things that happen when you're fasting. I recommend doing intermittent fasting on a regular basis, okay? And probably a good average pattern of doing this would be going 18 hours of fasting with a 6-hour window. So you would eat and then wait 6 hours later and then eat and then fast for 18 hours. This would be a really good pattern to follow. And then you can actually make it more strict over time depending on how you do. Then what you can do is periodic prolonged fasting to achieve additional health benefits, whether it's for your immune system because you have an autoimmune problem, or you just want to look younger with your skin, or you want more brain cells, you want better heart function, better gut function, or let's say you have cancer and you want to improve that. Because one thing that fasting will do is it will increase your resistance to stress. And even if someone's on chemotherapy, it will actually help the body's resistance against chemicals and poisons, which is quite remarkable. Make sure you take your minerals during fasting. So I know a lot of people recommend just doing either a water fast, that you're just drinking water, or a dry fast where you're not drinking anything. I recommend doing a water fast with nutrients, just because if you are deficient, you can have problems. So you want your minerals, you want your B vitamins, and you want your salt. Very important.
Okay, so remember now that if you have never fasted before, if this is something that is foreign to you, chances are you've got a lot of stuff in your body that needs to come out. You have a lot of cleansing that needs to happen within your body. And within the first couple of days of fasting, I have to tell you, it's not going to be pleasant because you, in essence, will be detoxing and getting rid of all that bad stuff. And that can make you feel pretty bad initially. So there are some people who, when they first start fasting, they may start to get like flu-like symptoms. And you might think, oh my God, this is making me sick. No, it's ridding your stuff of the body that's making you sick. It's just a natural response to detoxification of the body. Or you may find that you may start breaking out. And you may be like, why am I breaking out all of a sudden? That is actually toxins coming out of your skin. So you'll find that you may break out. But your body will start to rid itself of these toxins. Okay? And so be prepared, especially if this is not a normal part of your lifestyle and it's something new. Be prepared to possibly feel bad for a couple of days. But know that that is natural because your body is getting rid of toxins that have been stored up in your body for probably a long time. And you're actually going to feel a little worse once you start to clear your body of that stuff. But that too shall pass. I promise you that will pass. And within a couple of days, you'll start to feel better. You'll start to feel energized, all that good stuff. Now, one of the things that may happen that you may consider to be, well, why is this happening all of a sudden? And maybe this fasting thing is not for me. Another thing that you're going to experience possibly is elevation of cholesterol levels. But again, there is a reason for that, a very specific reason for that. And it's not a bad thing. As you will learn, as you listen to this clip of, once again, Dr. Berg talking about what happens with your cholesterol levels sometimes when you're fasting, particularly if you are new to the whole fasting experience. This is important because I don't want you to start this and then you start to have these negative feelings and you quit before you give it a chance to do its magic or its miracle because you think something is wrong. No, it's not that something is wrong. It's that your body is ridding itself of toxins. And in terms of what happens as it relates to cholesterol, you will learn in this clip from Dr. Berg that is actually a good process. So listen to this just in case you try this and your cholesterol levels go up so you do not get alarmed.
Now, if your LDL, so-called bad cholesterol, which is not really bad, low density lipoprotein is increased, the reason for this, especially if you're not consuming any type of significant carbohydrates and you're doing fasting, this is increased from a different reason. Think about one of the purposes of LDL. It's to deliver cholesterol to different tissues, right? Well, think about all the things that are happening when your body is fasting. You are going through a major healing process. And cholesterol is the raw material for your cell membranes, for your brain, to make hormones, to make vitamin D, to make bile. 40% of all the cholesterol in your body is there to supply the membrane of your cells, which is essential to protect the cell and allow for things to go in and out of the cell. So maybe one of the reasons why your body might need the cholesterol to be transported through this carrier protein is healing the cellular membranes. Or it could be that it needs to have the raw material to make more hormones. I would not worry about that if you are concerned. There are various tests that you could do to determine what's happening to this cholesterol. Is it doing damage or not? But I would not worry about it.
So remember now, I would have told you in past shows that cholesterol, even though it has been demonized, is not a bad thing. Your body makes it for a reason. Um, because cholesterol is a very important part of the healing process. And as you would have heard Dr. Berg say, cholesterol, makes up a good part of the body. Um, certain hormones need cholesterol for them to function properly. Your brain, definitely. Your brain is mostly cholesterol by weight. And so if you consider that cholesterol is the building block, and it only shows up when something is in need of fixing, because it helps to speed up the healing process, then you'll understand why, if you start fasting, your cholesterol levels may go up, because chances are that you've done some kind of damage to your body over the years with all of the bad stuff you've been eating and the bad habits you've been indulging in, and possibly toxins in the environment or whatever. There's chances are there's some damage, some degeneration that is taking place in your body. And so when you fast, it's not shocking that it's a possibility that your cholesterol levels will go up, because cholesterol is the building block. That's what helps to repair damage. And so if you've been doing a lot of damage and now you're fasting and the healing process begins because you're fasting, then the body in its divine intelligence knows that it's going to need cholesterol to help with that healing process. Okay? You need to understand that. So I don't want you to go into a panic. Oh my God, Michelle, let me go on this fast and now my cholesterol levels going up. No. Calm down. Nothing to be alarmed about. Understand why the cholesterol is there. It's there to try to help repair damage. And if you consider that fasting helps to, encourage the body to regenerate, then yeah, cholesterol will likely be involved in that process. Okay, I thought it was important to make sure that you understood that, because if you've never done this before, you may get a little nervous when you start to experience these things like the flu-like symptoms or the elevated cholesterol. But know that that is a very, very natural, normal part of this whole process of fasting. Okay? The telephone numbers to call once again, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line is 8010271, 8010271. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Miss Malcolm. Happy New Year.
Same to
All
you.
the best to you in the new year.
Thank you.
Send
Same
you
to
up
you.
with your good show. It's very, very good.
Thank you.
Like Monica say, powerful. And in reference with the cholesterol, if you could remember when I called you, I did my annual in February, and my cholesterol was 188.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she was having me to see the dietitian, because I went on intermittent fasting,
Mm-hmm.
and she said to check that and make sure the thyroid, because she said in 3 months you could, blood could change. So when they did it in June, my cholesterol dropped to 159.
Mm-hmm.
My thyroid was fine. And I'm just continue on this intermittent fasting, and I'm just losing weight now. Everybody say, you need to stop losing weight. I say, no, good health. It's good.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent. Good report.
Yeah.
Very good report. Now, understand that not everybody will experience the elevation in cholesterol, because everybody's different. So your body probably didn't have that much need for repair as some other person's body may have, which is why they may experience the elevated cholesterol. And it didn't happen for you, because remember now, everybody's different. So your needs are different. Your needs are different than my needs.
Yeah.
Right. So your body in its intelligence knows how to respond based on your specific needs.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm
Thank
happy
you
to
very
hear.
much.
I'm happy to hear that you're on the path to better
Yeah.
health. Good stuff.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless you too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. So yeah. So don't be alarmed when if you've been damaging your body for a long time and you decide to try this, and all of a sudden you feel like you're catching the flu and That's not a bad thing. You got to get those toxins out of your system, and your body will respond. It will respond. And especially, like I said, if you are new to this, your body gonna fight you every step of the way. But you have to determine who in charge. You or your body. Who's in charge? You or the plate? And if you determine that you are in charge, then you will, hold on, fight your way through those bad feelings and get to the other side of it, because it's only a temporary response to the purging of your body, of getting rid of all that bad stuff that's in there. And you will learn as we go through the show that fasting is one of the best ways that you can detox the body. It is excellent at detoxing the body. Now, another thing that 72-hour fast is really good for, and this is extremely important, is the immune system. If you fast for at least 3 days, you will actually be boosting your immune system. And this is very important. We got all these things floating around the place and everybody wearing masks and all this kind of stuff. If you would fast for 3 good days, you would do tremendous benefit to your immune system. Here now, once again, is Dr. Berg explaining how that happens.
Let's talk about the amazing effects of fasting on your immune system. The benefits are amazing, especially if you could do a 72-hour fast. Now, with most people, you have to work up to it. But even if you could do a 48-hour fast, that's going to be huge. But definitely work up to a 72-hour fast and do that periodically. Maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months. But the benefits of fasting for 72 hours have more to do with literally growing a new immune system. Here's some benefits. Number one, it'll boost your white blood cells. But that includes the macrophages and the neutrophils, which are phagocytes. So they clean up debris. They also kill off viruses and bacteria using different chemicals, and they basically go around and eat different pathogens. And then we have the enhancement of the T cells, but especially the T regulatory cell. Another name for the T reg cell is the T suppressor cell, because it suppresses an overactive immune system, as in a cytokine storm, as in a situation where we have way too much inflammation that's causing a lot of collateral damage. So fasting strongly suppresses inflammation. So there are these things called cytokines, and there's signaling communications between the white blood cells that have a lot to do with inflammation. So fasting helps support those cytokines that reduce inflammation. And then they also support the B cells, and that has a lot to do with creating antibodies and developing memory from an infection that you had, so you're ready and prepared for the next infection. Also, fasting will help enhance the weapons from the white blood cells, so that way they can fight stronger, because there's nothing worse than sending out an army without their weaponry. So if you want to enhance your immune system, you definitely want to start doing periodic prolonged fasting. Now, it also decreases something called PKA. I'm not going to get into the woods with what that compound is. All you need to know is that this compound needs to be inactivated for the stem cells to be activated. And stem cells are the things that are recruited from various parts of your body, especially the bone marrow, to start to build a new immune system. And last but not least, fasting kills old and damaged white blood cells through a mechanism called autophagy. So when you fast, you turn on this mechanism, and it goes after all the white blood cells that are inefficient, that aren't working, that are taking up space, and it actually cleans all those up so you can create space for the new white blood cells.
Okay, good stuff. So you've heard him talk about this autophagy, autophagy, that's how you pronounce it, several times, and we're going to learn more in detail about how that works. But understand that the main benefit of fasting is not weight loss, even though weight loss will happen. But that's not the key benefit. There are so many more benefits, some of which you've already learned, on the healing processes of the body that are impacted by fasting. But I have to warn you that you have to know what you're doing when you're going on a fast. Because if you don't do this right, you could literally hurt yourself. And a lot of people end up harming themselves because they're doing it incorrectly. And then they say, oh, fasting is bad. No, it's not that fasting is bad. It's just that you did not do it correctly. So, on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about the critical things that you need to know to make sure that you are doing this the right way so that you can get the most benefit from it. So stay with us. That's on the other side of this commercial break from our sponsors. We'll be back.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting sugar-free berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted loud.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this Wellness Wednesday. We're talking about fasting, the benefits of fasting on the body. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, The WhatsApp line for text messages only 801-0271. 801-0271. All right, so fasting is a wonderful thing for the body. Works miracles in terms of its healing benefits and getting the body to regenerate itself. But if you don't know what you're doing, and you do this the wrong way, you could seriously hurt yourself. And so this is why it is very important that you understand there are some critical things about fasting that you need to know and understand before you begin this journey. One of them, you heard me talk about hydration. You have to stay hydrated. So liquids is important. According to Dr. Berg, you may want to consider throwing some supplements in there as well. And we're going to hear more about this autophagy. But one thing I want to say before we go to the next clip, as it relates to keeping hydrated, the liquids that you are drinking should never be cold. Do not drink cold water from the fridge. Do not put your juice in the fridge. Do not drink iced tea. Everything that you are drinking while you are fasting should either be room temperature or hot, as in the case of tea. Okay? You don't want to do cold stuff. That is a bad idea. And if you try that, you're going to have some serious problems with gastritis. So it should be room temperature or hot. Okay? And you don't want to do a whole bunch of sugar either. That's defeating the purpose of fasting. So you don't want to use as a sweetener brown sugar. You don't want to use white sugar, any processed sugar. That's defeating the purpose. You might as well don't fast if you're going to do that. Okay? Because that's going to harm your immune system. That's going to slow down the healing process. But make sure that when you hydrate with room temperature liquids or hot liquids. And this is a really good time when you're fasting to discover some of our natural herbal teas that we have right around our yard. Fever grass tea, avocado leaf tea. All of these you can do during a fast. Okay? Make sure the leaves are clean and, pour some hot water over them and just let them steep for a good little while so that you pull out of that all of the benefits of what's in that leaf. And a lot of our natural leaf teas taste really, really good. Better than the stuff you actually buy in the food store. GC says if you break your fast incorrectly, you can actually die. Yes, this is true. We're going to talk about that as well. Dr. Berg calls it refeeding, and the proper way to break a fast. But you got to know what you're doing, people. This is nothing to play with. This is nothing to do incorrectly, because you could definitely harm yourself, especially the longer you go. So if you are on an extended fast, for God's sake, when you come off the fast, don't go hog wild and go to the nearest crack kong place and buy yourself one snacking, because you can end up in the hospital. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do greasy foods after coming off an extended. I'll tell you my own personal story. When I was very new to this whole fasting thing, I don't remember how long I'd been fasting at this point. I don't think this is the time when I did the 14-day fast. It may have been 7 days. I can't remember how long it was. But I, in my lack of knowledge, decided to break my fast by eating soup. But it was the type of soup that I ate that did me right in. I don't know if I want to tell you this, because it was pretty stupid, quite frankly. But I was new to this. I broke my fast with crab soup. all that good work I did during the fasting, one bowl of crab soup. I'll do all I could break. Not all of it, but I literally, after eating that, passed out, fainted, like out cold, because my body didn't know what to do with all that junk. After going on an extended fast, cleansing your body, and then you can put junk in it, my body say, I gee. As we say here in the Bahamas, and I literally passed out. You can't do them stupidest people. You can't do that. You can make yourself sick. You can't go on an extended fast and break your fast with a piece of cake or bread or some other pasta or something. That's not a good idea. You're going to hate yourself. If anything, especially if you've been on an extended fast, you should break your fast first with some steamed vegetables. And you will find that the longer the fast goes, the less seasoning you will need, because your palate adjusts to Claudette. You're laughing at me. Claudette having herself a good time laughing at me and I stupid self breaking a fast with crab soup. I mean, how dumb can you get? But that's what I did, Claudette. Out cold, like a light cold. My body said, "What the hell is this?" And I was out. So no, you don't want to be unwise in how you break your fast. It's very important that you do this the right way. So here's Dr. Berg now. In this clip, he's talking about the importance of hydration, the right type of liquids. He recommends that there's some supplements that you want to do while you're fasting, and then more on this whole process of autophagy.
So let's go through the 7 critical things that you need to know, okay? The first thing I want to mention is that when you do fasting, you really only want to drink water. You can have tea, you can have some coffee, but you definitely want to take supplements. And the reason is because nowadays people are so deficient in nutrients. So even though when you go through fasting, your body adapts and becomes very efficient at holding nutrients, and the requirement of nutrients is a lot less, you could still have certain deficiencies of both trace minerals, especially, and other things like electrolytes and even the B vitamins. So I recommend taking your supplements. And the 2 main categories of supplements I would recommend are the electrolytes and the B vitamins. But of course, if you can also do some other ones like vitamin D, vitamin C, that would be important. What you don't want to do is you don't want to do like branch chain amino acids. You don't want to have little snacks. No, you don't want to do that. And there are some programs that promote that, but I don't recommend that, because what you're going to do is you're going to inhibit this very powerful thing that gives you huge benefits, okay? Called autophagy. What is that? That is a condition. It's not a thing, it's a condition in your body that basically recycles old damaged proteins, okay? So fasting is the most potent trigger to autophagy. And so autophagy is kind of like self-cleaning. It's cleaning up the old dead proteins. It's cleaning up pathogens in the body. It's stimulating all sorts of genes for long-term survival and longevity. It helps to clean up damaged mitochondria, which is directly behind the root cause of cancer. So this is why prolonged fasting is the best solution to cancer. So autophagy is a condition where you're recycling like damaged protein. I'm talking like amyloid plaquing that's involved in Alzheimer's. I'm talking about the damaged protein involved in chronic disease, like in your eyes, like from diabetes, from chronic inflammation. And by the way, when you start doing prolonged fasting, you can just erase any inflammation in the body. And it's amazing for autoimmune type conditions as well. So we're recycling damaged proteins, not just your muscles, but proteins involved in the enzymes, all the different metabolic pathways, the things that are damaged. It cleans all that up. So just make sure you do your water, a couple other things like tea and coffee in your supplements, but nothing else. Okay. The other thing I'm going to bring up is the amount of water. I would recommend at least 2.5 liters of water. Now, there are dry fasts, and that's a whole different thing. But for most of you watching, I don't recommend you do that. Do a water fast. So you're basically drinking a good amount of water. What's interesting about doing a fast, your body will make its own water out of fat, but that's for another video. I just recommend you drink enough water. And the reason I recommend you drink water is when you start fasting, boy, you just dump your glycogen, okay, your stored sugar, and you're burning up the sugar first. And then with that is the release of a lot of fluids, because you have a tremendous amount of water that's tied in with this stored blood sugar in your muscles and in your liver. So you're going to get rid of a good amount of fluid initially. And with that becomes a loss of electrolytes. So you want to put back in those electrolytes.
So make sure you are, if you're going to do this, you're in a position where you're going to be able to go to the bathroom frequently, because you're going to be releasing a lot of water. So, you're going to be needing to urinate more frequently. So make sure you are in a position where you're going to be comfortable doing that. Okay. But now he talked about coffee. I don't know. If you decide to do coffee, make sure it's decaf. And again, you can't be adding a bunch of sugar and all that kind of stuff. I've never done a fast with coffee in my life. It's always, just water or juice or tea whenever I do fast. And, whether that's intermittent fasting or longer, I've never tried coffee. I don't know about that. But again, if you do decide to do that, make sure it's decaf, because you don't want that bunch of caffeine. And again, you're not adding sugar to that or any of that bad stuff. Okay, you want to be very, very careful with that. So I don't know if GC joined the party late, but GC is saying on Facebook, fun fact, your body repairs damaged organs while you're fasting if you go beyond a week. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. You may have tuned in late, GC, but we just played a couple of videos that talked about the effects of fasting for 24 hours or 48 hours or 72 hours or longer. So yeah, it's all about healing the organs, healing the body. Claudette says she's done fasting with mushroom organic coffee. Again, I've never done it. If you've done it and it works for you, praise the Lord, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. I'm just saying I've never done it. Whenever I fast, it has been with water or apple cider vinegar tea or apple juice or cranberry, obviously incorporated with the water. So yeah, you want to be very, very careful of the liquid that you do take in. Make sure it's real juice, people. Not that fruit juice cocktail. Because it's not real juice. That's just sugar and water with a little bit of flavor in it. And you want to avoid the acidic juices. Okay, so this is why you want the more alkaline juices like the raw apple juice or the cranberry juice. The cranberry juice, again, is very good for cleaning out, helping to clean your blood. It's really, really good for fasting. But make sure it's pure juice. And again, room temperature or hot. And it's, again, great way to discover all of the wonderful tea leaves that we have here, right here in the Bahamas, so probably grown in your yard, that you ignore. That would make a delicious tea. All right. So yeah, don't do it cold. Don't do it cold. Don't do it cold. So you heard Dr. Berg talk about electrolytes just briefly in that last clip. You're going to learn more in this next clip from him about, oh, thank you, GC. GC says avoid alcohol. You would think that goes without saying, but I'm glad you brought it up. People, no, no, you don't want, no, no, don't drink the alcohol when you're trying to fast. That's not a good idea. You need to put down the bottle for a little while, okay? If you're going to fast, be serious about it. All right? Not just because I say more liquids, you go run and buy half pint. How about now? That is not wisdom. No. That ain't the time to drink your wine. No. Put down the alcohol. All right? If you are an alcohol drinker. Water, herbal tea, and certain juices like cranberry juice or the raw apple juice, apple cider vinegar. You don't want to do anything else. Now, again, like I say, some people say now that they have done the organic coffee. Make sure it's decaf if you go that route. I've never done it, so more power to y'all if you do. It's just never been something that I have done personally, so I can't speak to it one way or the other. So yeah, breaking your fast. Very, very important how you refeed yourself after your fast has ended. The longer you fast, the more careful you have to be of how you break that fast. This thing go with sense. Okay? You don't want to do anything foolish. Eating the wrong things could wind you up in hospital or worse when you're talking about breaking a fast. Because you would have just spent all this time cleaning stuff out, cleansing things, body regenerating, all that good stuff going on. And then you throw some garbage in there and your body literally goes into shock. So you want to be very, very careful of how you break your fast. So in this next clip, Dr. Berg is going to talk about electrolytes, what happens with electrolytes when you're fasting, and then the refeeding or breaking the fast process that you need to pay attention to make sure that you do this the right way and you don't end up blacking out like I did when I foolishly ate that soup, breaking my fast. Okay? So listen very carefully to this, because if you're going to do this, you got to do it the right way so you don't hurt yourself. So here now is Dr. Berg talking about electrolytes and refeeding or breaking your fast.
Probably the biggest risk of doing these fast, okay, is when you're doing them without electrolytes, because you can create a lot of problems with your heart. You can faint. You can even have heart attacks. Why? Because you're basically depriving your body of key electrolytes. And realize that sodium chloride is also part of electrolytes, okay? So you need salt and other electrolytes. If you feel weakness in your muscles, that is an indication that you need more salt, okay? And of course, I'm talking about sea salt. And with electrolytes, I'm also talking about potassium, magnesium, calcium, things like that. Now, let's go into number 3, refeeding. This is when you start to eat again. Now, I'm not talking about intermittent fasting right now. I'm talking about prolonged fasting. When you're fasting 48, 72 hours, you're fasting 5 days, you're fasting 14 days, 21 days, 30 days, whatever. And you could do a 5-day or even a 21-day fast several times through the year and just keep your health at a whole new level. Some of the problems with fasting that I want to bring up is, like, you don't want to do fasting when you're pregnant, when you're lactating. You don't want to do fasting if you have anorexia. However, if you have stage 4 cancer or cancer in general, personally, I would do prolonged fasting immediately. So if you're doing a prolonged fast, all right, what do you eat coming off the fast? Well, you want to do something healthy, of course, but you don't want to do a big meal, okay? And you especially do not want to do something with refined carbs and sugar. And the reason is because you're going to create a huge shift of potassium, okay, out of the cell. And 98% of all your potassium should be inside that cell. And so in order to store sugar, you need potassium. So you're going to just suck out this potassium too fast. And you're going to end up with a severe imbalance of potassium in the blood, inside the cell. There's going to be this huge imbalance, and that can create some dangers. So do not do, just regular foods or refined carbs when you come off this prolonged fast. Instead, do a little bit of salad, maybe a little egg, just a little bit of something, and then wait for a couple hours, and then you can maybe have a little bit of nuts, and wait for a little bit, do a little avocado, and gradually kind of come out of this, okay? You do not want to do a big meal like I did. And that was a really good demonstration of what not to do, because I just pigged out. I ate all this food, ate this huge meal, and oh my goodness, did I end up with a serious digestive problem, tired. And I'm like, okay, I will never do that again. In fact, I need to have other people learn from my mistakes.
So you see, I'm not the only one who did something foolish. There's hope yet. Dr. Berg also did something foolish when he first started fasting, so I don't feel so bad. But yeah, you want to start slow. The longer you go in fasting, when you decide it's time to break that fast, you want to go slowly. And the best way to start is small salad with not with the starchy vegetables, but the non-starchy vegetables. You don't want to do the salad dressing with that bunch of the stuff you buy at the food store with all that oil in it. No. Just maybe a little bit of lemon, fresh lemon squeezed over the veggies, with a little bit of natural sea salt. But you know what? Like I said, it will change your taste buds to the degree where you will need less and less and less of all that gunk, all that stuff to be put over the healthy salad that makes the salad unhealthy. You will now begin to really taste the flavors truly within that salad or anything else that you consume. You're going to, the longer you go, you're going to need less and less, or be able to tolerate less and less sugar, for instance. So you'll get to the point where if you've been on an extended fast and you try to drink something sugary, it's awful. To everybody else, it tastes normal. But you will find that to you, it tastes like you're drinking syrup. You won't be able to tolerate it because your body would have so adjusted to this new level of health and healing that your body just is going to reject that sugar. And so that's a good thing. Even today, even when I'm not fasting, because I guess I've fasted from sugar now for more than a year. I don't do the sugar thing anymore. I don't even buy processed sugar. I get all my sugars from my fruits. Every now and again, if I'm around family or whatever, I might drink something like a lemonade. And whereas everybody's like, oh, this is perfect, to me, I feel like I'm drinking syrup and I got to add more water to it because I haven't been on sugar for such a long time. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Ms. Malcolm. Just calling back again. What about coconut water? You recommend that also? You can
Coconut water is good, but realize that it could cause you to go a lot more. Okay, it's a diuretic. So, but coconut water is pretty good as well.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Now you're talking natural coconut water now, not that stuff in the can. And when you decide to go buy coconut water from the boys on the side of the road, make sure that ain't been sitting in a plastic bottle in the hot sun for hours, because that's a bad thing, because it now leaches the bad stuff out of that plastic into the water, and now you have another problem. So if anything, take your container with you and tell them, fill this up, so that you know it's not been sitting out in the sun sucking up all of that bad stuff out of that plastic container. Especially if you can take a glass container, that would be great, so that you're not contaminating that coconut water. Okay? I ain't talking the coconut water in the can. No. I talking natural coconut water out straight out of the coconut. Yes, you can do that as well. Okay. All right. We're going to take another break. On the other side of the break, we're going to continue about the critical things, the 7, we're going to continue with the 7 critical things you need to know about fasting so that you do this the right way to get all the benefits that you should get. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
At Lear, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the Mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. Today on this Wellness Wednesday, We are talking about fasting, the benefits, physical benefits of fasting. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. And the WhatsApp line for text messages only is 8010271, 8010271. So, as we've been discussing, you need to know what you're doing when you're talking about going on a fast. You got to make sure that you are doing it the right way and that you are understanding what changes may occur in your body that you may not be accustomed to. You may think, oh my God, what's going on here, that are natural to the fasting process, particularly if you are a person who has a lot of health issues that have to be dealt with, a lot of toxins in your body, a lot of pathogens that need to be you need to be rid of, or a lot of damage in the body that needs to be repaired, then your body will definitely respond to fasting. But if you do it incorrectly, if you fast incorrectly, you run the risk of really doing harm to the body. So for that reason, we have to spend quite a bit of time making sure that you understand how to do this the right way, because you don't want to do this the wrong way and end up hurting yourself and then swearing off of something that could very well be the key to helping to restore your body, to regenerate your body, to heal your body from whatever damage you have going on within the body. Okay? So again, we got to do this the right way. And, they say knowledge is power. I say no. Applied knowledge is power. It's one thing to know something, but unless you apply that knowledge, then you might as well not even have it. So my goal today is to give you knowledge that you can apply when fasting, so that you can do it the right way and that you can, receive all of the tremendous benefits, all of the miraculous healing that comes along with fasting and doing it the right way. So all of my clips today are featuring Dr. Berg, who's one of my favorites, who comes with, really good knowledge each and every time about how the body works and different systems of the body. And in this next clip, he's going to be talking about, again, these are the 7 critical things that you need to know when it comes to how to fast the right way. You got to do it the right way, people. There's no shortcuts. There's no, well, I could, break my long fast with, chicken in the bag. Yeah, you're looking to hurt yourself. So we got to do this the right way, people. And in this clip, he talks about something called ACV. He talks about healthy keto. And he also talks about what is called the Dawn, DAWN, the Dawn phenomenon that you will experience once you decide to break your fast. So here now is Dr. Berg.
All right, if you're doing a prolonged fast, and I'm saying probably 72 hours or longer, realize that all these ketones are going to make you pretty acid. It's not a bad thing. It's just that if you're doing apple cider vinegar and you're adding that, you're going to add some more acidity, and that can throw off your pH. And you may find that your pulse rate, it's like a very loud pounding pulse rate in your ear. That's going to make it difficult to sleep because your pH is off, and your breathing might be affected too, like air hunger, like can't get enough air. So just don't do the apple cider vinegar if you're doing a fast longer than 72 hours. You may want to do some baking soda, just a little bit, like an 1/8 of a teaspoon in some water, and drink that, especially if you start having a buildup of like a gout symptom from the uric acid that goes up. Uric acid is one of the most powerful antioxidants in your blood, and it's a normal thing, but some people that are predisposed to gout might have a flare-up, especially when they are doing this initially. Okay, but normally it's not a situation. And number 5, do the healthy version of the ketogenic diet. Don't just go back to regular foods, because first of all, the carbs are going to kind of nullify some of the benefits that you had. Okay, because this whole goal of doing fasting is to get rid of the bad effects of a high carb diet. and a junk food diet. So why would you want to go back to that? So I would highly recommend combining healthy keto with the intermittent fasting. Okay, number 6, dawn phenomenon. What is that? That has to do with your blood sugars going up, okay? Maybe between 5 in the morning to 8, like all of a sudden your blood sugars go up, and like you didn't eat any sugar. Where is that sugar coming from? Well, your liver is making sugar, okay? There's a problem with insulin resistance, which is still occurring because it takes quite a while to get rid of that condition. It could take months, even up to a year or a little bit longer to fully get rid of that. If you have the dawn phenomenon, all that means is that you have insulin resistance, okay? And I wouldn't worry about it too much. However, if it concerns you, I would go for a long walk and just burn off that sugar. It's not coming from your diet, okay? It's just your liver is making the sugar. And that's a big difference between consuming sugar, all right? You're not gonna have a problem. And also that problem is gonna go away with time versus some people might think, oh, fasting is bad because it raised my sugar, so I'm gonna stop doing that. That would be a mistake. And so a couple other little things that you can do, you can probably take berberine or other things like cinnamon to help reduce insulin resistance, okay?
Okay, good information to have, really good information to have. It's always good if you decide to go on a fast, to have some, like an accountability partner. So maybe, you and somebody else, or you and a group, a small group of friends or whatever, decide to go on a fast together, even if they're not in the same household as you. Because, especially if you're new to it, there will be temptations and times when you may feel the urge to fall off. And if you have an accountability partner, someone that is going to hold you to the commitment that you've made together, then that support will help you to get through the tough times of prolonged fasting. I tell you though, if you could get past the first 3 days, if you are new at this, if you could get past those first 3 days, you're going to be all right. You'll be able to walk into a house where they cooking the most delicious smelling food, and it won't even bother you. If you're in a household where they've decided that, I ain't doing a fasting thing with you on your own, just get past those first 3 days. I'm telling you, if you do this the right way, by the 4th day, the smell of that food won't even get to you anymore, because your body would have realized by then, this chick's serious. She ain't giving us no food. So it will start to feed off of the fat that is already in your system, the stored energy. And that's what we call ketosis. So if you can get past those first 3 days, you're good to go. But it helps when you have an accountability partner, someone who is walking this road with you, who will encourage you when it gets to be hard. Because it's going especially for the new ones out there trying to do this, it could be challenging at first. But understand that a big part of you having the discipline to do this and do it successfully is your mindset. If you go into this with the mindset of, I am in charge of you, body, not you in charge of me, your body gets the message eventually. It will fight in the beginning with everything it's got, because your body's main concern is keeping you alive. And if your body thinks that it's starving, it's going to do whatever it could do to get you to eat again, to find food, eat. Don't starve me. Eat, feed me. I got to keep you alive. But no, you're not going to die if you turn on your plate for a couple of days. I promise you ain't going to die. It ain't going to kill you. Unless you do something foolish and do it the wrong way. So once you take authority over your body, Once your mindset gets involved in this, and then on top of that, you add an accountability partner, you will have a much better chance of making it through this process than if you don't. But all the benefits if you do. And like I said, we haven't even gotten into spiritual benefits. I found a really great clip with the late Dr. Miles Monroe talking about the spiritual benefits of fasting. But as you can see, we only got 18 minutes left in the show, and I still have one more clip to play from Dr. Berg. So clearly, we're not going to have time to get into the spiritual benefits of fasting. That's a whole show within itself. Today, we're just dealing with the physical benefits. So in other words, you will benefit from fasting whether you're a believer or not. It's just good for the body. It is really good for the body. So we are going to take this final break, and then Dr. Berg is going to talk about how do you know when it's time to break your fast? How do you know when it's time to break your fast? That is on the other side of this final break, and then we're going to wrap things up. Stay with us. You're tuned into GPS on a Wellness Wednesday here on Global 99.5 FM.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift, on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this Wellness Wednesday. We are talking about fasting. the miraculous benefits of fasting on the body. Telephone numbers to call: 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages only is 801-0271, 801-0271. So you learned what fasting does to the body, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, extended fast. You've learned all the good stuff. You've learned what not to do when you're fasting. You've learned how it impacts your immune system. You've learned, how you may feel bad at the beginning, but that's not a bad thing. It's just a sign that your body is ridding itself of all of the impurities, the toxins, the pathogens, etc. All of that we've covered. But now, finally, I want to close out the show with the question, how do you know when to break your fast? How do you know when it's time for you to start eating again? Once again, here is Dr. Berg addressing that all-important question.
All right, number 7, knowing when to break your fast. Now, should you just dive right into a prolonged fast? Well, you know what? You could. Are you going to feel great? Maybe not, especially if you haven't fasted. You're going to have to go through a period of time where your body adapts. And so it might take you several days before you start feeling good. So a lot of people do this gradually, and they kind of ease into it after doing, weeks of intermittent fasting. So you could just cold turkey, just jump right in and do prolonged fasting, okay? However, when you start fasting, what you're really doing is you're switching from the glucose fuel to the fat fuel, okay? And then also the body then has to make new enzymes for ketones, okay? So your body actually is running on fatty acids as well as ketones, especially for your brain. Your brain can't run on fatty acids, it runs on ketones. So just think about this. You're not going to feel really good in your head when you start doing fasting, simply because it takes a while to develop ketones. So in the meantime, what you could do is take MCT oil, or you can take ketone supplements and get rid of those symptoms. However, you may not feel good mentally at first, but then you start adapting and your appetite goes away and you feel good. That's a really good indication that you've adapted. Okay, so if you're doing this gradual, okay, there's always going to be a transition phase where you're going to have to go through something that's going to be uncomfortable. But just realize, push through that. Like you might have hunger pains, you might feel a little bit kind of off, but then if you push through that, that will go away because your body is forced to adapt to this new method of burning fuel. There's no other shortcuts other than just pushing through that sometimes. So at some point, going from intermittent fasting to prolonged fasting, you're going to have to go through a little bit of this transition. It's normal. It's not abnormal. I'm just letting you know before you go through it so you can not be freaked out about it. But when I say don't eat if you're not hungry, eat when you're hungry, I'm mainly talking about doing intermittent fasting. But when we get into prolonged fasting, should you eat when you're hungry? No, actually, we're going to just push through that to the other side. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit of a little point I want to bring up.
Okay, so understand again that it's a mind game, right? If you can get beyond the first couple of days, it'll get easier and easier and easier the longer you go. So, but your mind has to be involved in this process. You have to understand that and convince yourself of that, so that you will get through. You will be able to break through that initial period of your body, misbehaving, trying to make you eat. And once you get past that and your mindset is that you're going to go for however long, it gets easier and easier as each day goes by. And then you can make a determination when it's time to break that thing and break so with wisdom. Okay? break it with wisdom. So start with a small salad of fresh greens and eventually work your way up to, some steamed vegetables and maybe a light soup, and then eventually you can, introduce more solid foods. But don't go right back to eating the garbage. Now, I have a couple of minutes left. GC says, let me help you out with the spiritual aspect of fasting, Ms. Malcolm. Fasting puts your body into a state of submission. That's something to start everyone off for the next time. I will tell you this in the few minutes that I have left. You do understand, I would think by now, after listening to the show today, that the benefits to the body are phenomenal. Phenomenal. Nothing short of miraculous what happens to your body when you fast. We've already determined that. Okay? And if you tuned in late, I suggest you go back and watch the show from the beginning. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook, on the official Michelle Malcolm page on Facebook, or the Global Radio FM 99.5 FM page on Facebook. Watch the show from the beginning if you tuned in late, because there's some really good information that was shared here today about the miraculous benefits of fasting on the body. But for those of you who are believers, the benefits of fasting are equally as miraculous as it relates to your spiritual growth and development and regeneration. This thing opens up your spiritual being in such a way that it gives you a clarity that you cannot experience any other kind of way. And also, it obviously gives you great power as it relates to your spiritual effectiveness. If Jesus the Christ found it important to fast and pray, who is you that you figure you ain't got to do that? And I think one of the reasons why his ministry was so effective and powerful is because he did fast and pray. So whenever he encountered any kind of dark spirit or whatever, he had to be there for hours spitting over the people, saying, in the name of, come on. He had to go through all of that because the power came through that fasting experience, fasting and prayer, obviously, but the fasting opens you up in a way that nothing else will or can. So, like Pastor Miles said in the video that I found, the more you eat, the more clogged up you are spiritually. And fasting is like spiritual Drano. It unclogs all that stuff so that your spirit man can now really thrive and really be that conduit that you're supposed to be. And I will tell you this, you will be opened up in such a way. I'll tell you my story. This was, I think, the time when I did the 14-day fast. And I had lost so much weight within those 14 days. And I was nearing the end of the 14 days, and I was taking a shower, and I looked down at myself and I say, wow, you really have lost a lot of weight. I mean, I was down to I'd lost a lot of weight. And I tell you no lie. I heard a voice as clear as I will hear anyone speaking to me in the studio saying, you must be preparing your body for the burial. And I immediately knew it was the enemy, but it didn't even faze me to the degree where I just responded while showering, like I talk to anybody here. I got too much to do. I'm a whooping up purpose. Ain't no time for me to die now. I got too much work to do. And it didn't dawn on me until after I had gotten out of the shower what had just happened. And I was like, well, blow me down. Slewfoot just tried to threaten me. That's my nickname for the dark one, Slewfoot. But because I had been so empowered spiritually from those 14 days, it didn't even faze me for half a second that the enemy was trying to threaten me. I answered him so quick, boy, go sit your, you know what down. Do you know who I am and whose I am? And that is the power that fasting gives you spiritually. That's another show altogether. I figure since I had a couple of minutes left, I would throw it in there. Marissa says, fasting with prayer and the word puts our spirit in a position of dominion over our body and our soul. Many are led by their bodies and their soul with an what's that word? Emaciated spirit. In other words, you're feeding your body all the time, but do you feed your spirit, man? That thing opens you up. You become a conduit where you can hear good and evil. So you need to, if you're a believer, it will empower you like nothing else that I know. And I'm talking to myself right now because I haven't done an extended fast in years. I need to get back to that because that thing will empower you like nothing else. And this is why I believe Jesus had such a powerful ministry because, you know, he was always fasting and praying. So whenever he encountered them things, although they knew who he was, don't forget now, he was still walking around in a physical human body. But boy, that didn't limit his spiritual power. He would only say the word. And them demons had to run. So perhaps if you are looking to receive some kind of breakthrough in your life, apart from the physical benefits, maybe you need to consider fasting for the spiritual benefits. All right, that's my time. The woman playing the music, so she trying to tell me something. She laughing. Time to go. We have other programs, and we want you to stay tuned right here to Global 99.5 FM for wonderful programming. But until tomorrow, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow's open line. Let's have some fun talking about this first week of the year. You know we got that with John to do, right? Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio